Well, that didn't work, did it? I thought I'd be fancy. Welcome to BTHQ Banter Week 2. They say tomorrow is another day, and yes, I am wearing a Little Mermaid shower cap. I thought I'd be fancy. Right, BTHQ Banter 2 in the mirror, but never mind. I've just got up, it's a Friday, I am feeling much better. Yes, I'm still poorly, but I am feeling better and I am going to be able to get some stuff done today, which is great. Just had a lovely long shower and I'm going to head into BTHQ and get some work done. That feels much better. I'm actually feeling slightly human again. Before we go to BTHQ, we have to go to Sainsbury's for some vital class supplies. I've got my helper with me today. Hello. It's his last day of school holidays, so at least I've got someone to help me out around the studio. Are you ready to do lots of jobs?
No.
Oh. Time to load the fridge. Bills, bills, bills and more bills. I ordered some cord for my bag and it's arrived. I just went for beige in the end because I thought I'd try and make some little tabs to put on the end of it out of the scrappy tweedy fabric, which I thought would look quite pretty. It's really weird, it's come in this big skein, so I'm actually going to put it onto my Swift and wind it up like a cake of yarn. Almost as big as my head. This is really hard. This fabric is so thick and stiff that pushing the safety pin through is absolutely killing my fingers. One side, now the next. I'm going to scrap the tab idea. It's not going to work. All finished. I'm going to set tune out and make some bands for the neckline and the armholes of my 40 for 40 dress. And then hopefully try and get it hemmed up and finished so that I can wear it out for dinner tomorrow night. Tom, what's 17 times 2?
17. 34.
Thank you.
34.
34 inches, less 10%, 3.5 inches. 31 inches, so 31 inches.
Mummy?
No, I haven't. Just press the space bar or the return key. Be patient. So I've stitched a neckband on here. I hate neckbands on dresses like this, but I can't be bothered to line it because it is just a toile. And I know that it fits nicely. I'm hopeful that I won't have to top stitch it down. It might just sit nicely, but we'll see. Day 2 of BTHQ Banter, and this old bird turns 40. So we decided we'd get a crafty, so old. We'd have a crafty party this afternoon, but we have to behave ourselves a little bit because there is a class going on next door. Maddie is hurting these ladies' brains.
Always.
Always. They're learning to draft their own patterns.
Who wants what?
I'm having the lower alcoholic one.
Peach Blini.
Quite a few things last night. It's been so good this week. Oh, I had up till then.
I had up until last night.
Up until last night, and because we went out to that show, and then we went to Otto Lingi's restaurant as well before, so that was lovely. And that Wilton's, oh, it's so atmospheric.
I've not been, I must go.
So atmospheric.
It's in London, Wilton's Old Time
It's
Music Hall.
Lehman Street, just
Must nip faster so I can buy more yarn. Indeed I must.
I think that goes for all of us.
I do. I do. How do we get you on this official yarn ban then? Because I thought you were on a yarn ban, to be fair, but you really
And
know
then Saz put a sale on.
she's got stuff.
I was like,
Saz has been told not to sell you any more yarn.
Oh,
no, that is.
is it?
That's what I bought the other day.
Yeah, but Saz has got a business plan. She wants
I need to put the ends in. It's a bit stiff though, look.
I think it really suits you, Madison. It looks beautiful, Mads. It's like a
Always needed.
Like, but it's nice and chunky for me.
Yeah.
Fine. Brilliant. So I could use that for the cuffs and the band. I got ribbon, like toppy stuffing.
Like what?
Toppy stuffing. It has pockets.
I was trying to get her bits and pieces.
I need to introduce you to Jenny. This is Jenny.
Hello.
Hello, Jenny.
Oh, I don't know what to say.
Never mind.
Questions now.
Jenny makes the most amazing shortbreads you have ever tasted.
It's Evil Auntie Dot's mum's recipe.
It's what?
Evil Auntie Dot's mum's recipe.
Evil Auntie Dot's mum's recipe.
From Cumbria.
Well, you need to get hold of Evil Auntie Dot's recipe from Cumbria because they are the best shortbreads I've ever tasted. She's welcome to crochet classes whenever she likes. Good morning, it is Tuesday and I've just got into work. I was due to have a client today on a one-to-one and we were going to be making teepees, which was going to be lots of fun. Unfortunately, she's had to reschedule, which has left me a free day, which is a good thing because I have got lots of filming to do because I've now launched the project bagged class that I was talking about in last week's BTHQ Banter, and that's going live at the end of the month, so I need to get that filmed and up and running. Now it's again a bit of a weird week this week. It's not fully packed with classes because I'd had the big birthday weekend and I then went away on Sunday. Monday, you've missed out on what we like to call admin day here, which is a Monday. So you didn't see what happened here yesterday because I wasn't here with the camera. But my lovely mum was busy cleaning, tidying, sorting out and getting the studio nice and straight and back to normal after our busy weekend. So next week's BTHQ Banter, you'll get to see that. So I'm going to crack on, open some posts, check some emails, get some posting done, and then I'm hopefully going to get some videoing and making done. And if we're really lucky, we might get some visitors to the lounge today to come and chill out and do a bit of knitting or whatever they feel like bringing with them. So the first thing that I need to do this morning is prepare for our 3-week beginners sewing course, and we've got 2 of these starting in the next couple of weeks. One in the evening, which Maddie's going to be teaching, and one in the daytimes, which I'm going to be teaching. So we like to prepare all of the fabrics, all of the materials for that in advance, which means that when the pupils come in, all they have to do is literally learn to sew. But that can take some time. There's quite a lot of cutting out, quite a lot of organising, and we need to make sure that we've got everything on hand. Now, if you own a sewing studio, or in fact, even if you sew in general, you'll know that whenever you make something, it's really tempting with all those offcuts and the bits and pieces that are left over to just chuck them in a box or shove them down the back of the sofa or in the back of a cupboard and forget about them. And then when you start a new project, just to crack out the new fabric. And it's really, really easy to do. And I am culprit to that too, but I mustn't do it this time. I have got so much stuff that I really need to try and use up. So it's time to sort out my scrap basket. So when I finish teaching a class, I've got this laundry basket here, and this is where all of the odd bits that don't get used end up. So you can see I've started looking through it already. These are fairly decent sized chunks of fabric, and they do serve a purpose. They will have a use. There's lots of wadding here that we've used in quilting classes, and then lining fabrics, etc. So I'm going to sort these all out and then see what I can salvage to prepare for the 3-week course. So we've got 3 projects that we work on in our 3-week beginners sewing class. The first one is a little quilted storage box. Then they go on to make a tote bag and a zip cushion. So the quilted box and the zip cushion, we cut all the pieces out, so I know those sizes in my head. So all I'm doing is just going through all of the big pieces of fabric and seeing what I can get out of them and just cutting as many as possible, making sure that I've got at least 12 pairs of everything for the 2 classes that we're running. I have to admit, this is one of those jobs that I don't really enjoy, and in the future, hopefully the not too distant future, I would really love to have somebody working for me who would be able to do these kinds of things well in advance. I mean, the 3-week beginners course we've been running now for 6 years. It hasn't really changed. Occasionally we switch up the projects just because as teachers we get a bit fed up with teaching them. 1 second. Good morning, beautiful things. Blah, blah, blah. You can tell it is a new year. The phone hasn't actually stopped ringing in the last couple of days with people trying to sell me advertising space, etc, etc. Anyway, where were we? Yes, 3-week beginners. So I would love to have someone eventually who would cut all these things out for me, and we could be really, really ahead of the game because it is a course that we run so often. I know that we would be able to get everything cut out and have it all in stack, so I can just open the cupboard when I want to teach a class and ta-da, there are all the things that I need, and it would be lovely. But the other thing that I pride myself in as a business is trying to be as sustainable as possible, and sort of environmentally sustainable as well, but also trying to keep the costs down for me. Obviously I'm a small business, an independent small business, which means every time that I buy a bolt of fabric or something like that, that I have to offset that cost to my pupils. So if I can keep my costs low, not only am I able to make a decent profit, but I'm also able to keep the costs of my classes down. So that's good for my pupils. And we get donated an awful lot of fabric and general materials. I'll often get phone calls from people in the town saying that they've had a clear out of their loft, or that someone's passed away and they used to love sewing or knitting or crochet, and that they've left behind all of these lovely things and they don't know what to do with them, and they want to see them go to a good home. So when that happens, I always say, yes please, thank you very much, so sorry for your loss, but by all means drop them down. If they're local, then I'll often go and offer and pick them up, but then I'll get ginormous big bags of bits and bobs to go through that get dropped off to me. Now it's a job that my mum absolutely loves. She'll sift through those bags quite happily. She knows what's of use to me for classes, she knows what's not of use to me, because obviously there's a real mixture of things. Sometimes you can be really lucky. I mean, I've had bags of things donated to me before from people who were obviously serial dressmakers, and there's been beautiful big bolts of like satin and cottons. I've had quilters before who've, you know, given me loads of full meterage of fabric, and that's incredibly useful. But obviously offcuts and things like that aren't quite so useful. But what I do is I go through it, I keep what we can use, and then what I can't use, I make sure I give to somebody who can, and that's exactly what I'm doing here. So this basket that I'm compiling here is offcuts that are too small for me to do anything with. I already have a ginormous bucket of scrap, which one day I will get through, but these are fabrics. They're not particularly exciting. There might be a bit of upholstery fabric in there, or some funny slippy fabric, something that's not great to work with as a beginner, and I put those in a basket, and when I finish today and I go and pick up Izzy from school, I will take those into school and I will give them to her class teacher, because they can always use them for collaging or sewing or scrapbooking or various craft activities, and the schools are always very grateful for those. So yeah, that's basically what my morning looks like, trying to be as sustainable as possible, clearing out my fabric stash and getting prepped ahead of our next few classes. Thought I'd say as well, obviously with our 3-week beginners sewing course, we do a lot of the cutting out for you, but you do still learn how to cut out. We only cut out 2 of the 3 projects. So one of the projects, the bag, you'll learn how to measure, cut and assemble your fabric, so don't worry, we don't do it all for you. So my cutting out is all finished. I'm going to do some filming now for a tutorial. But first, I thought I would open my Christmas present from a mother and father, because I believe that it may assist me in that filming. I do hope it comes with instructions. Oh, this is ridiculous. How on earth are you supposed to be able to do this easily? Oh God, that was a mission. I was planning on having both of them here at the studio and taking one home now and again when I wanted to use it. But if it's going to be that much of a faff to put it up, I might have one here and one at home. So I'm now filming the tutorial for our pin badge bag, and I've decided that I'm going to make this one out of all my old pairs of jeans. So we really are on a thrifty recycling day today. So I completely forgot to film all afternoon for BTHQ Banter, because I was using the camera to film my online course. So in fairness, there was a good reason. Anyway, it is now 10 to 3. I need to leave, go and pick up Izzy from school. No more studio time for me now. Actually, for the rest of this week, you're not going to see me in here before this goes live on Friday. But there was also someone using the lounge today, which was really lovely. Diane came in to do a spot of knitting. I didn't film her, she was on her own. She probably didn't need a camera in her face, but she had a nice time. We had a nice chat, she had a cup of tea, and that's that. So school are really lucky. They have got 2 big bags like this of fabric that I'm going to take in when I pick Izzy up now. Hopefully they will be able to make some use of it. Anyway, I'm going to sign out now. I may pop in tomorrow, but I'm not sure. So just in case I don't, I hope you've enjoyed BTHQ Banter this week. Sorry it's been a quiet one. Next week, normal service resumes with a fully booked week of classes, so you'll get to see exactly what we get up to here.